Okay. So let's begin sitting in a cross-legged seat. Very typical to how we usually do here. Let me get the music going. So I find that I have to keep reminding myself that it's Tuesday. So just if you need that extra reminder, happy Tuesday and welcome to your yoga practice following a nice long weekend. Even though it might not mean that we necessarily took all of that time off to rest, it's certainly nice to have a little space, a little different vibe for the weekend, and also an unofficial start to summer, which thankfully we had some nice sun to accompany that. So just greeting yourself here on your mat. Let's take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Two more, breathing in. Let it go. Just notice how your body moves in these moments of landing here and now. Allowing it to take any sort of form, movement, breath, sound that it wants. And allowing your practice to truly be a gift to yourself by letting yourself take what you need and leave the rest. And to approach your practice with kindness and compassion and gratitude. If you have a special intention that you'd like to weave into this practice tonight, just calling that into your awareness, letting that word or intention reverberate through your mind, through your heart, and all through this field, this space in and around your body. Settling into the breath, settling into the posture. And begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, directing the breath into the belly. Try to focus all of the breath into the belly. We'll take 3 breaths just into the space of the belly. Your next 3 breaths, let the breath rise from the belly to the ribs. Finding a little length in your posture. Perhaps you feel a subtle alignment start to take place of heart over hips. Allowing every exhale to ground a little deeper into the seat. And your next 3 breaths, rising from belly to ribs and just a little bit into the chest, more so into the armpits. And feeling this 360-degree breath make its way through the entire torso, front and back, left and right, up and down. Now, whatever shin was in front, let's just move it to the back as we take these next few moments in our seat, Sukhasana, and I'm going to invite you to hold a mudra. We haven't done this mudra before. It's called a Danda mudra, so it's for the spine and bringing wellness, health into the posture of the spine. So with the right hand, we're going to extend the ring finger and index fingers. You can wiggle those, just bring attention to those. And then pinky finger, middle finger, and thumb are going to come together in a little beak or point. Might feel a little awkward at first to get those other two fingers straight. They don't have to be perfect. But with the 3 fingers to a point and then resting the back of the hand on the knee. Now with the other hand, the index finger is going to curl behind the thumb so that the thumb is right on top of the joint, that first joint of the index finger. And then again, the back of the hand will be on the knee and the palm facing up. Now you can close your eyes, bringing your attention back into the full body breathing. And we're going to hold this mudra for about a minute or so to allow the effects to take place. As we dive deeper into yoga practice, we learn that yoga is about the subtle body. Of course, we have the asana that's often focusing on the posture. But of course, in our time together and in this journey of practicing together, you know that the subtle layers of energy are always involved, and that the postures simply allow the energy to flow in a certain direction and to help clear and make space for the energy to flow in the way that it needs. So when we hold a mudra, we're directing the energy in a certain way. And this specific mudra is about bringing awareness into the spine, helping connect the information pathway or highway that runs from the base of the spine all the way up into the brain. Yoga is an invitation to bring awareness into the subtleties of the body, the mind, the spirit. Let's take a quiet moment here and just feel into the breath and let the energy of the mudra and posture do its work. You'll find yourself moving through your own process of feeling and sensing. Of awareness. Of subtle adjustment. And all of this is right for you. This unique process that only you can go through in any mudra, any asana. All the sensations are right for you. Feeling what you need to feel. Approaching it all with acceptance and curiosity. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then releasing the mudra, turning the palms down onto the knees and dropping the chin towards the chest. Begin to circle the neck, chin tracing along the collarbone, rolling back gently and all the way around to the other side. Take your time feeling into these circles. Of course, if the full circle doesn't feel good, you could stick to the half neck circles. And the next time that the chin comes back down to the center, pause just for a moment and switch directions. Let your breath flow naturally with a gentle awareness on the breath as we continue to move through a practice. The next time that the chin comes back to center, pause, let the head hang, and then roll the neck up, crown reaching to the sky, drawing the shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Now start to roll around the hips. Rolling around the tailbone, the belly kind of churning around. Start to make that movement a little bit bigger, letting it move through the middle back, the shoulders start to move. Maybe even a little bit bigger, reaching around in a big circle. And starting to bring it back to center, come into the middle, take a little pause right in the middle, and then slow circles, reverse that direction, starting low in the hips. Taking the time to feel in every direction, maybe even activating some little muscles that you didn't know were there or haven't gotten attention in a while. You might notice where it's easy to spiral, where it's more challenging to spiral, and then start to let that expand, moving up through the ribs and the middle back, through the chest and shoulders. The head can start to move again. And then maybe a little bit larger, taking a full circle around. If there's an excess energy or emotion in the body or a feeling of excess, take a big audible out breath, let it go. Relaxing through the jaw, letting whatever needs to release, find that pathway through the throat. And let's start to bring it back to center. Sit up nice and tall. Bring the arms out and overhead with a mudra at the top, palms coming together. Prayer hands overhead. Press the palms gently together, directing energy up and out through the fingertips, lifting up into the higher chakras and energy centers. And then release the hands out and down, coming behind you. You can either ground the palms or press fingertips into the mat. And then lift up into the chest, breathing in. Exhale, let the chin lift and head draw back gently. And then taking a reverse movement, folding all the way forward. Walk the hands in front, bow the head. Softening muscles of the face,
A sort of melting action in the front of the face and the sinuses. Nice deep breath that stretches the back. Walk the hands back to center, and then we'll come on over into a tabletop. Actually, we'll come into child's pose first, so you can move through table, knees wide, feet together, arms extended. Feeling the hips settle down into the heels and the arms walking forward. Option to rock the head side to side, massaging the center of the forehead. Then finding stillness and take a nice deep breath that fills up the belly and back and the ribs. Let it all the way out. One more deep breath into the stretch of the arms. Let it go. On your inhale, slide the hands back, come into tabletop. Align the knees under the hips. Inhale, belly lowers, chest forward, cow. Exhale, round the spine, cat. Inhale, belly lowers, cow. Draw the hands back towards the knees. Exhale, round the spine, press away from your yoga mat. One more time, inhale, cow. Then exhale, cat. Come back to a neutral spine. Bring the right hand just an inch or two towards the center of your mat. Sweep the left arm out and up into a twist, pressing into the bottom arm as you open up into a nice big twist, open hand at the top. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, thread the needle, send it all the way under the arm, landing on left shoulder and left ear. Option for the right arm to extend towards the top edge of your mat, or to find a bind, resting the hand on the sacrum. Making sure that the hips stay centered in the middle of the mat. And let's take 3 deep breaths. Let yourself land in the pose. Relaxing the jaw as you breathe. And then bringing the right hand back by the face and press up into your tabletop. We'll switch right into the other side. Right arm sweeps out and up. Take a nice big twist here, opening the chest, pressing into left hand and opening the right palm. Let the bottom jaw, the bottom lip relax away from the top, and take a breath in here. As you exhale, thread the needle and land. Hips at the center of the mat. Left hand binding or extending. Simply cycle your breath, feeling into whatever sensations are here with you now. The subtle sensations, even the things maybe you don't notice on other days. Maybe the way the mat massages the temples here or the shoulder. When you breathe in a posture, it gives this sort of massage to the body. Bring the left hand back by the face, gently press up into your tabletop. And then walk your hands a little further forward for a downward facing dog, but we're going to step the hands a little bit wider than normal. Tuck the toes and start to peel up into your downward facing dog. We just give the arms and shoulders a little more space in this version and begin to pedal through the legs, stretching the toes and bottoms of the feet. Taking a deep breath again if you feel any stagnancy or excess. Just allowing the breath to move in the way that it needs to here. Then anchor into your left foot. A little bend in the knee is fine. And send the right leg up to the sky, taking a nice big stretch. Equal weight in both arms. You can point the toes, flex the ankle, point, flex, and lower the right toes down. Anchor into the right foot. Stabilize here, a little bend in that right knee, and then lift the left leg as high as you can. Let the back of the neck stay relaxed. Equal pressure in the arms. Point the toes, flex, point, flex, and lower left toes down. Take a walk towards the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Have a little fun in this stroll, how you move the legs, maybe kind of walking like a flamingo. I don't know why today, but that's what came to my mind. And letting yourself have a nice big fold at the front of the mat. Option to hold onto the elbows to ragdoll. Gravity is our best friend here, giving us some traction through the spine. Feeling the weight balance between heels and toes. You might even rock a little forward and backwards or pick up the toes and spread them out nice and wide. Inside, outside edges, rocking side to side and feeling...
The screen is black.
Oh no, thank you.
Thanks for letting me know.
All right, we're gonna bend the knees and roll up to stand. For more support, you can place the hands on the thighs and walk them up. Otherwise, we'll roll the spine up and feel an alignment taking place.
Letting blood rebalance, looping the shoulders back at the top as we come into Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms out and overhead. Mini sun salute. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold all the way down.
Halfway lift, breathe in. And exhale, refold. Roll it up to stand. Again, option to walk the hands up the legs, breathing in.
Loop the shoulders back, Tadasana, breathing out. Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky. Find the hands together at the top. Exhale, swan dive, fold.
Halfway lift, long breaths. Exhale, refold. Inhale, either roll it up or start to reverse swan dive, bringing arms all the way overhead at the top.
Exhale, Tadasana. Adding on to our flow, inhale, arms up, palms kiss. Exhale, fold down.
Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step the left leg back, lower the knee, low crescent lunge.
Inhale, press into the feet, lift up the arms, palms together at the top. Exhale, release, hands come down.
Tuck the back toe, lift the knee. Inhale, runner's lunge, twist, right arm to the sky. Just like before, press into that bottom hand, reach up through an open palm, and on your next exhale, release, right hand comes down. Take a step back into plank pose. Inhale, roll up onto the toes. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down to the mat or halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, refold down. Press back up, find your way to downward facing dog. Remember, there's always lots of freedom in our flow here. Maybe a child's pose in between. Maybe a wider stance through the arms. Take a nice deep breath and let it go. Anchor into the left foot. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip, gaze under the right arm. Straighten the right leg, squaring off hips. Step through between the hands. Left foot meets the right. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale to reverse. Palms kiss at the top. Tadasana, exhale. Keep it flowing. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, step the left foot back, lower the knee. Right leg back, lower the knee, low crescent lunge. Inhale, root and rise. Find that mudra at the top, directing energy up. Exhale, hands frame the foot. Tuck the toe, lift the knee into your twist. Move with your own breath here. Take your time to find the right pace. Keep that right thigh lifted. Press into the bottom palm. Exhale, left hand comes down. Step back into your plank. Heels right over toes. Breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows hug the ribs. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. A full breath. Right foot anchors, left leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hip. Look under left shoulder. Straighten the leg, step through between the hands, right foot meets the left and fold. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, Tadasana. Taking a little intermission here. Sweep the arms out and overhead, and then interlace the palms at the top. Press the palms up towards the sky. Grounding down into the heels. Now bring the hands behind the head and make a cradle for the head. Thumbs are at the base of the skull. Now, as you inhale, give yourself a little traction by lifting up through the crown, gentle tug through the thumbs, and exhale, take a side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, center. This time we're going to twist. A micro bend in the knees, twist to the right. Hold here to breathe. Release through center. Breathe in. Exhale, twist to the left. It's more in the upper back. Breathe. Now we're going to combine this side bend and twist. So come back through center. You'll inhale in the middle. And then side bend to the right just a little bit. And then open up the left chest, a little rotation of the chest up towards the sky. So a little side bend, a little twist. Go to the point that you can hold, feeling traction through the back of the neck. And then come through center and go the other way. A little side bend to the left and rotate chest up towards the sky. Stay grounded in the feet. And come back to center. Take the arms down to the sides and just give them a nice shake through the wrists and fingers. And a deep breath out. Inhale, sweep your arms out and overhead, mudra with the palms together. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down, step your left foot back. Bend the right knee into your runner's lunge. Hold here for a moment, bringing the back heel over the toes. Extend through the crown of the head. Now we'll turn to the long edge of the mat, coming into a side lunge into the right knee. Walk the hands through center, side lunge into the left knee. You can keep the feet grounded here as you go back to the front, to the back. One more time to the front knee. And then we're going to come into the center of the mat in a wide leg fold. Heels turn out slightly, toes point in slightly. Take a moment to enjoy the help of gravity. Let the head go. You could hold on to elbows. Or if you're getting close to the ground, you might slide a block under the head for extra grounding in the crown. Now take a walk back towards the front edge of your mat and lower the left knee. Walk the hands up to the hips into a crescent lunge, but hands holding on to hip points. And use this awareness of hands on hips to square them off. Notice if one is lifted higher than the other or drawing more forward than the other, and just help guide the hips into this centered position. Now take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right hand stays on the hip to help ground through that right side, and start to twist gently around to the right. Stay grounded in both feet evenly. If it's okay for the neck, you can take your gaze back a little further. And if you feel really stable here through the legs, you can bring that right arm back. Reaching out through an open palm. Open chest. Make sure the arm's not going numb. If we start to feel that tingling, maybe back up a little bit and invite the chest to open first. Now we'll bring the back hand up and over and come down into your lunge. Heel toe, right foot to the outside of the mat for a lizard lunge. We'll hold here for the next few breaths, either lowering down into a deeper stretch or playing with some movement through the hips, or a little bit of both. Taking a moment to listen to your own body and wisdom. Check in with where you're at. See if you want to go a little deeper, or if you've already met your edge or need to back up. And then wherever you're at, coming back up onto the palms. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, heel toe the right foot to the center of the mat again for a pyramid pose. We'll hop the back foot forward a little bit and straighten through the legs. The hips stay square, and enjoying a fold over the shin. Tune into your breath. Gaze forward, little bend in that front knee. We have one more step here into a standing splits. Lifting the back leg up, the hands walk a little forward and folding towards the shin again. Get strong in your standing leg. As an option today, see if you can bend your left knee and reach back with your right hand to find the foot. If you found that foot, see if you can lift the knee and look under left armpit. Just a little play. And then let's release the bind, release the foot down, and we're gonna bend the knees and come all the way to the seat just for a moment here. Give those legs a rest and move the energy into the core. We're gonna find our boat pose, find the balance point. Beautiful. Now, a little fun play. Let's roll all the way down and keep that roll going a few times forward and back. Maybe even finding a little shoulder stand. And then on this next roll, we'll cross the ankles and come forward into our plank pose. Lower all the way down to the mat, chaturanga, or roll it down. Keep it low here for a moment as you come into Sphinx pose. Sliding hands forward, elbows under shoulders. Take a gaze over your right shoulder. Take a gaze over your left shoulder. Come through center. And release into crocodile, hands as a pillow under the head. Let the heels splay out, the hips can rock gently side to side. Or bend the knees and windshield wiper the feet side to side, also a nice option here. And then just find the stillness, take a little intermission. Breathing into the diaphragm, relaxing the nervous system. And perhaps noticing a difference between sides in the legs. Hands come under shoulders. Press up through your tabletop. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Walk, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold, and inhale to rise all the way up. Meeting in Tadasana. We'll go to the other side. Breathe in, palms together at the top. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. And exhale, refold. Right foot steps back, runner's lunge. Stretch out the legs. Extend through the back heel and through the crown. Breathe. Side lunge, turning to the other long edge of your mat. Lunge into the back knee. The front knee, the back knee, the front, and then coming into center, wide leg forward fold. Walk the hands towards the front of the mat into your lunge and lower the back knee. Hands come up to the hips in this version of our lunge, giving more awareness of the body and space and finding evenness across the hips. And begin to rotate. Hand comes to the opposite knee. Lifting up through the crown. Left hand continues to ground the left hip.
The gaze can turn. The legs help balance. And maybe that left arm opens as well. Just make sure that the shoulder follows, the chest is open. Left hand comes around to the front. Low runner's lunge, heel toe, left foot to the outside edge of the mat for your lizard lunge. And again, we'll have about 7 to 10 breaths here on our own. Maybe the first few are a little higher, and in a few breaths, just checking in and see if there's any space that you can move into. It's interesting how these poses can feel different in different bodies and at different times. Going lower doesn't always mean it's a deeper stretch. You might find subtleties in lifting up or shining the heart forward, so you can play with different aspects of the pose. Checking in, going lower, lifting up, or staying just as you are. Move your awareness into the more subtle sensations. Deeper than the muscles. And then in your next breath or two, we'll begin to lift up onto the palms. Tuck the back toe, lift the knee, and heel toe the left foot towards the center of the mat again. And we'll come into our pyramid pose, hopping halfway forward, hips pressing back, legs straightening, and taking a fold. One more step into our standing splits, walking hands forward, lifting the back leg, folding, bending the right knee as an option, and reaching back for the toes. They're there somewhere. And if you find them, maybe lifting that knee, go slowly, gazing under the right. Great job. Release with control. Bend the knees. Come all the way down to your seat. Find your boat pose. And release. Come into your seat. This time, bring the feet together and the knees apart into your cobbler's pose. Hold onto the shins and sit up nice and tall. Feeling the nice open flow of energy through the insides of the legs, the hip flexors, making its way up through the belly and chest, making its way back down the arms into the fingers. We've done a lot of hip opening, especially with the hip flexors, the inseams of the legs with our lizard poses and side lunges. And now we'll find a little bit of external rotation as well. So let's leave the left shin in front and you'll find your right way to position yourself. But let's leave the left shin in front, the right shin coming back. And to start, just finding the seat is great. Letting the hips settle, the legs settle. It's really helpful as we move into this next stage of this to maybe have a block or a bolster. If you don't right now, we can make do with what we have, but we're gonna come into a twist from here, and it's nice to just have something to like lay on or support the heart. We can also use though just our forearms to hold us. So in this first position, our hips are grounded, but as we twist, it's okay for this back hip, the right hip, to lift off the mat. In fact, we're gonna encourage that. So let's begin to twist here. You'll lift up the hips a bit, start to lift that right side, and start to twist your torso around to the left. Twisting around. If you were facing towards the front of your mat, you're twisting the torso to be towards the back of the mat. Now, you might not make your way all the way to the back. It might be more like a 45-degree angle that you twist, and that's fine. But you'll go to your extent of a twist and then begin to lower down onto the forearms. You'll be more positioned on the outside of the left hip as you turn around here. And then we want to just allow the body to melt. That's really the word of this posture, to melt, which is why having a prop can be helpful, because it gives you a little more support, but not necessarily needed. So you can be on your forearms, you might be able to come head onto hands or even head onto the ground. But even a big pillow or even folding up some blankets could do the trick of supporting the chest. You could turn a cheek to the mat or to the support. We're going to hold here for about a minute on each side, so really giving the body enough time to melt. Softening into the shoulders. Just allowing the body to breathe naturally. No force, no cranking. Can you drop in a little deeper, get a little heavier? Let the mind melt. And then slowly, slowly we'll begin to lift back up. And really go a little slower than what might be your norm. If you have a prop that you are using, as you come back to center, you might just switch that over to the other side so that it's handy as you move the other way. And then we'll come through the center and switch legs. Beginning with just finding the seat, the internal, external rotation for the hips. And then same thing as we did on the other side. We'll lift up the left hip, kind of come onto that right hip a little bit more, and begin to rotate the chest around to the right. Just going to your extent. Using those blankets or pillow or block to land the belly, the ribs, chest onto that support, or hold yourself here with your forearms. You could turn the other cheek to the mat if you were one-sided the other way. And letting the heart space, that's the most important part here. The chest, the center of the chest, the shoulders, allowing that space to melt. It's going to help the whole spine move into this twist. Settling in. Let yourself go through your own process. Yes, maybe there's fidgeting. Yes, maybe there's discomfort. That's part of the process. Finding the still points. Allowing that fidgeting to guide you, to help you practice becoming more comfortable in the uncomfortable. And then maybe finding more of those moments of letting go. Little by little, those moments of softening. When the body realizes and says, oh, I can relax into this. Those ahas, those moments of the body saying, I can relax into this, have been some of the most impactful pieces of my yoga practice. And we'll take a few more breaths on this side. Deepening the breath slightly. And then beginning to press back up onto the hands. Slowly, slowly. Come back around. And then wherever you were at on your mat, just bring your feet towards the back edge. Knees bent, and hold behind the knees to roll all the way down.
As you get to the mat, take a big stretch. Stretch out those hip flexors. Stretch out the arms. And then bring both knees back into the chest. Taking a nice neutral position through the spine. Circle the knees away from one another. Nice and easy here, like you're putting little droplets of oil into the joints and just kind of rolling those around, really easy. Switch the direction, knees roll towards one another. And then knees coming together, circle the knees in one direction, rolling around the sacrum. And switch directions. Release the feet down to the mat to set up for one bridge pose before we come into a final resting pose. Hands right by the sides, feet tucked in towards backside, and lift up the hips, holding here. A ping pong ball size space between chin and chest. Open up through the gates of the hip flexors. And then lower the hips down. Take the legs down the mat into your resting pose. If you still have a prop handy, like a blanket or a bolster, you could slide that under the knees to support the lower back, or cover yourself up, or give yourself a pillow. Taking a nice deep breath to settle in. Let the feet be a little spaced away from one another, the arms a little spaced. So that as you rest here, you're in anatomical position. Not too crunched together, not confined to the edges of your mat. And dropping into the support. Feeling the natural spaces under the ankles and knees, lower back and neck. And if any of these spaces feel like it needs a little support or a lot of support, then please listen and give yourself that support. Filling that space with a blanket or a pillow or both. Let go of what's come before in your practice. Let go of the day. Let go of the control, even of the breath. And allow yourself to be in this final moment where you say, I trust the body. I trust the energy to do what it needs to do to balance and to heal. Let it all be exactly as it is. Let it go. Piece by piece, let it go. Thought by thought, let it go. Doesn't mean that the thought is no longer there. It doesn't mean that the thoughts stop or sensations stop. but simply loosening your grip on all of these things. Loosen the grip. Become aware of your body breathing without your control. Become aware of the stillness at the very bottom of the breath. Approaching these moments of complete stillness. Becoming aware of the moments in between. So many little shifts, big shifts begin to happen the moment we bring our attention to the breath. The receptivity of the skin, slowing of the pulse, the heartbeat. An overall sense of ease. Tuning in to some of the more subtle sensations. Now allow your breath to deepen and begin to become aware again of the room, the things going on around you, the animals, the people, perhaps the sounds of just living in an urban environment. And finding this little moment in between all of the noise and the peace within. This is what yoga brings us home to. You can begin to move, to smile, to breathe a little deeper, awaken yourself fully into the space that you're in, and making your way over onto your side, pressing up to a cross-legged seat. Bringing the palms together and landing them at the heart. A moment to soak in all the goodness of your practice, the gratitude, the joy, or whatever else it is that you may be feeling in your practice tonight. Thank you for allowing me to guide you. Thank you for showing up on your mat. The light in me honors and respects and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Thank you, thank you. How are you doing? I'm going to turn off